Those who grow food are often given a black eye from environmentalists who blame agriculture for high nitrate levels in municipal water supplies. But farmers here in Iowa are literally planting the seeds and adopting conservation practices that lead to cleaner water.
Many Iowa communities are finding that there are many paths to take to lead to cleaner water. The key is to implement change before it's too late. In 2013, Iowa recorded its wettest April in 141 years. Nitrogen not absorbed by crops the previous year meandered its way into local waterways and streams as runoff, and the two rivers that supplied water to Des Moines, the state's largest city, contained record levels of nitrates. By law, the Environmental Protection Agency requires that drinking water contains no more than 10 milligrams of nitrates per liter. But the Raccoon River tested at 24 milligrams per liter that spring, while the Des Moines River contained 18. The person responsible for maintaining safe drinking water for 500,000 Central Iowans blamed agriculture as the primary source.
There are urban contributors to runoff and to pollution. I don't mean to disparage that, but the idea that feeding the world is somehow this password that lets us get by any responsibility for poisoning our neighbors is a real problem for me.
In response to the record level of nitrates, the Des Moines Water Works switched on its $3.7 million nitrate removal facility for the first time since 2007. The system, which is believed to be the largest in the world, cost $7,000 a day to run, and the bill for the nearly 3 months of operation amounted to over $500,000.
Operating and maintenance, that's very costly when you start putting in treatment systems. A lot of communities will look at drilling a new well, but that's not a guarantee if they drill a new well that it's not going to be drawing a contaminant such as nitrates into that new well. So
Becky Ortman is the Source Water Protection Coordinator for Iowa's Department of Natural Resources. According to Ortman, 30% of Iowa's 880 municipal water supplies are highly susceptible to contamination from nitrates. Many of those municipalities serve small communities where an expensive nitrate removal system would be unfeasible.
We can do better, and if we focus on this, I think we'll get more tools and we'll figure out better ways of doing it. If that holds off the federal government from addressing this, I think this is a better, more effective way to make that happen, rather than have somebody thousands of miles in an office someplace draw a circle on a map and say, everybody does this in a certain area.
The Iowa Nutrient Reduction Strategy, the culmination of 2 years of work by the Iowa Department of Agriculture, the Iowa Department of Natural Resources, and Iowa State University, found that cover crops were the best single practice farmers could implement to reduce pollution from nitrates. In Griswold, it is hoped cover crops planted in the Wells Capture Zone will be the solution to reducing high nitrate levels in the city's water supply.
We have family and friends that live in town, so we need to do what we can to protect the groundwater there also. And our wells come out of that too, so we need to protect what we drink also.
Cover crops aren't the only cost-effective solution that's being employed in efforts to keep agricultural runoff from entering water supplies. In Elliott, with a population of only 350 people, a $300,000 to $1 million nitrate removal facility was out of the question. The solution the community decided upon did not involve planting cover crops, but instead to take cropland out of production.
And, we talked to the committee, we voted on it, and this is what we decided. Try to do it naturally and have a wetland, and this will be more permanent, on the outcome.
The city purchased 18 acres of marginal farmland and, along with 4 acres donated by the school district, was able to construct a 22-acre wetland. While the primary goal of the wetland will be to filter nitrates out of the town's water supply, it will also be a gathering place for the community. Walking trails have been constructed, and the wetland will be used by the school at Borders as an outdoor classroom for environmental education.
It's a dragonfly?
That's a baby dragonfly.
That's disgusting.
No, it's very cool. With our new electronics world, children don't go outside anymore. They don't touch living things. And this is an outstanding way to incorporate core standard classroom curriculum and bring it out here outside where it's more hands-on. And you can see these kids have been working on that out here for probably an hour now, and they're still quite intrigued and enthused and curious as to what little things are in their tubs of water.
While it's too early to assess a change in nitrate levels in Elliott and Remsen, water monitoring tests have shown great results after the town of 1600 converted nearly 100 acres of cropland to native grasses.
We know that if you plant native grasses in an area that's highly susceptible to anything on the surface as far as nitrate application or manure or anything like that, we know that native grasses work.
Prior to planting native grasses, the city's water at wellhead number 8 showed nitrate levels at nearly 3 times the 10 parts per million considered safe. 3 years after seeding the 100-acre prairie, test results indicate nitrate levels have been reduced by 40% at wellhead 8 and 30% overall.
So for the community of Elliott, a wetland, that worked for them. For Griswold, cover crops work for them. For Remsen, Iowa, putting in native grasses, converting cropland to native grasses work for them. So what we're trying to do is gather more of a suite of practices that will work in any community.